All right, guys, I'll be completely honest with you. I've already gone through this presentation once before and a few times by myself. It's a lot of information. It does, it may seem a little overwhelming. If you have any questions, I have my phone here on the side with the chat open, so hopefully I see it. Your question, and if you want, just try to flag me down. In if you think of a question afterwards, after the presentation and everything, by all means, hit me on Teams or shoot me an email, whatever works best. I'll do my best to answer your question to the best of my capabilities. Now, really, uh, but yeah, what we're going to be looking at is Adobe Photoshop, and there is Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Photoshop Express, and I'll go over that here in a little bit. But the main agenda today, we're going to take a quick tour of Adobe Suites and see what it has to offer you. We'll also dive into Adobe Photoshop and do a little tutorial rundown of how to navigate it and how it works with all of its beautiful perks. And I'll also introduce some other free products and websites that you can use to, spruce up your presentations, flyers, posters, or just your lesson in general. Um, Now I am going to do my best. Bear with me to stick to this agenda. And but again, sometimes I may mention a little something, and then I'm there like, well, I need to explain this, I need to explain that, and so I'm. It may seem like I'm a little bit all over the place. It's a lot of information, and it's only 40 to 45 minutes that I'm actually spending with you guys. So bear with me. But we're gonna basically. I already went through the introductions, talk about suites, logging in, uh, do a quick little, talk about a little bit of some of the applications it gives you, and then from there go into Photoshop, talk about images, copyrights, text, different font styles, and then from there, probably make something a little quick for you, so you can see like how I make some of the things I make. And if you have any questions, obviously feel free to ask throughout, or simply shoot me an email at the afterwards or whatnot, and then we'll have the time for the evaluation. Now, logging in. Oh, also, this presentation, I'll give you access to it as well, so you guys can, like, well, what was he talking about? What did he do? So you guys can have access to it as well. And oh yeah, from here, let me just close up pretty much all of this so you guys can kind of see it from scratch. So like, you're like, no, what are you doing? Why are you closing all that? No, I'll get to it eventually. And but you're gonna go to adobe.com. Simple, adobe.com. It's gonna have me already logged in, but for argument's sake, let's pretend I'm not logged in. So I'm gonna sign out. This is pretty much where you're gonna look at adobe.com. Yeah, it looks pretty bland. Go to sign in right here in the top right corner. Now, hopefully you're one of the ones that already knows, but as we were talking about earlier, you have access to a lot of applications that the district pays for, and some of it is free, but it's like some of it is free for teachers and some of it the district is paying for. But as an educator, you have access to a lot of applications. All you need to do is just log in like you're logging into your computer. Type in your username, first and last name, as you normally would. And then type in your email. Your email. Type in your password, and then boom, you're now in. Now it's gonna over here. This is my home page. It's gonna show me all the recent files that I messed with, and some of the applications that I kind of mess with as well. But really, what you're gonna be looking at is we're gonna look at the top tabs. These tabs here are pretty much the ones that I mess with the most. And but you're going to go to view all applications, view all apps. This is everything you have access to. Each one of these is a different app that you have. Something for as simple as signing documents, lame. But AI generated images, videos, and whatnot, awesome. So you guys have access to a lot of different things like Adobe Firefly. From here, you get to create your own images, literally AI images. Same thing that some people would do with ChatGPT. Well, they only give you three free ones. After that, you got to pay for it, or and then wait for wait another 24 hours. Well, here, go nuts. Didn't get it right the first time, do it again. And then here we also have Photoshop. That's the one that I'm gonna be touching base with more so because in Photoshop this is more of manipulating images so that you can create a poster, a flyer, an anchor chart, anything to that extent. A simple birthday card. Illustrator. This one is kind of dealing with graphics that deal with that kind of lean more into also creating with magazines and whatnot. Then we have Adobe Express, which is kind of an amalgam of all of these applications kind of in one area, which is pretty cool. And it kind of gives you the simplified version of it. In Adobe Express, there are actually areas where you can actually create like a classroom and things like that. Don't quote me. So don't quote me. I want to say a few years ago, 2, 3 years ago, students actually had access to Adobe, and just the same way we do. However, the Chromebooks, I believe, are blocking it. I don't know if the district is still paying for it anymore or whatnot, but it's something to think about. But either way, you can still implement it into the classroom through various something as creating worksheets and handouts. That would be through Adobe Express. Um, I haven't messed too much with it because I'm a graphic designer by heart, but and I just barely started, experimenting with that one. But Adobe Photoshop, that's the one, again, the one that I'm going to be dealing with. Acrobat, we're all familiar with. Premiere Pro is video editing and software. So if you're creating a music video, a short video presentation, uh, anything like that, you'd be messing with Premiere. This one I had a lot of fun with years ago, but now this is an updated version, and I'm excited to start working with it again because last time I bought Premiere was I think 2012. So yeah, I'm definitely upgrading right now. InDesign. If you this deals with if you're dealing with a lot of books, magazines, like pamphlets and things like that. So usually, I'm pretty sure if you have a yearbook guy, he's using InDesign already, so he would be familiar with it. But it's I used it in college for the Panorama magazine, and it really helps a lot. It makes things a lot easier. Help me understand little things like bleeding the pages and things like that. And it it was a whole other world that I was oblivious to about. I used to think it was just create an image and slap it on, but it really makes creating books a lot easier. Lightroom is kind of like Photoshop, but it deals with pictures. Like you're taking pictures, snapping images, and things like that, and you want to edit the image itself. But this is more like you're messing with the light, the background, the saturation, things like that. And in Photoshop, that's where it's like, oh, she's got a pimple on her face. Let me take that off. She looks a little chubby there. Let me take that off. Ooh, I look real fat. You know what? Let me edit that and put on some abs. That's Photoshop. Photoshop manipulates the images. In Lightroom, you're you're just kind of doing a small edit on the images itself, but into a much more detailed version than Photoshop as far as camera work. After Effects is basically kind of things that you would use after manipulating in Lightroom, Premiere, and things like that. Adobe Fonts gives you a lot of access to different fonts, and this was something they added this past summer, Substance 3D. I am not familiar with it whatsoever, but it's definitely something I do want to look into. But these are just so many different applications that you can utilize, take advantage of, dive into, and learn more about. And it's really an amazing. It's really amazing the things that you have access to. And me personally, I was oblivious that I had this until my wife 3 years ago told me, my band director, he doesn't pay for it. He uses the schools. I was like, what? And then I checked it out, and yeah, legit, so much more. Now, before you actually go into these applications, I want you to take note on these three items here. Right here in each app, you notice there's a little three icons in the top right corner. This is important because of the fact of how the application is available to you. Now, the first one here says desktop. That basically means you're able to download this on your computer if you want to. So you don't actually need the internet. You can just straight up download it and then you keep it forever. Freaking cool. Then you have the mobile and tablet version. Well, you're on the go and you don't want to actually use a computer. Well, you can still edit it on your phone. You can still edit it on your tablet, your iPad, whatever you want. Really nice. Nice perk. And then last but not least, the web version. This is the one that I'm going to be dealing with you guys as far as, Photoshop, the web version. Because of the fact that it's online, you get to kind of take it anywhere you go. You can use the web version here and then move over to your phone and continue working on it while you're by the pool with the kids, using the mobile version of it, and you still have access to the exact same files because it's kind of like your Google Drive. It's all in the cloud. So you'll always have access to these files. Now, here is the really, really cool thing about it. While you're messing with Photoshop here, and for example, you're like, oh man, I just need to add this one little line right here, but no matter how much I use my mouse, it just doesn't do it right. You can go to the tablet and use your stencil to add the line or whatever edit you want to do so that you can do that edit literally with your hand, not a mouse, but with your hand. And it'll happen live right in front of you. Or it doesn't have to be you. You can share the file with a friend so that, okay, I created the schedule for all the volleyball events coming up, but I don't have the dates. Let me share it with the coach, and the coach can log in and then add the dates themselves. Pretty cool. So, kind of like Canva in that sense, where you get to share the application, but this one you get to go into more detail. Now, the Adobe Express is the Photoshop Express is pretty much the same thing as Photoshop, but the Express is a little bit more user friendly and comes off more like Canva. And with that version, there's only the desktop and the tablet version. There isn't actually a web version. And right now, I'm on my laptop using it, so I can't really go too much into it. But with the I do want to specify this: if you are using a school laptop, you can download it, but you're not going to be able to install it because it's a school laptop. You're going to need administration permission to actually download and install any of these applications. Unless you're the guy that actually gives the permission, then yeah, you can do it. But you're going to have to get special request. If you want to just put it on your personal computer, well, then you're okay. That's okie dokie okay. You can do that. But yeah, I just want to talk about those three tabs right there because that is very important to know. That's why it says download, open, and all that good jazz. But I do want to go to Firefly here because, man, this one is just so much fun. So before I get into Photoshop, let me just share with you Adobe Firefly. I'm rubbing my hands together because it's so much fun, where you get to create your own generated artificial intelligence generated images, AI generated images. So I'm going to have fun. I'm going to say donuts fighting space craft in outer space with broken moon in background. I'm going crazy. All right, let's see what it comes up with. Got to give it some time. Whoa, that's some crazy stuff there. Looks like they're having a party. Well, let's say you don't want to actually, you want a kind of an image kind of reference and whatnot. This is where you get to the styles and the compositions of it. This is where you get to add your stuff. You can either use the ones that they give you, like the presets, but you know me, I like being extra. I'm going to add my own image as a reference. What can I say? I love Kirby. So I'm going to add a picture here of Kirby. And just so you guys can actually see the image. Nope, wrong file. Where is it? Wallpaper. So you can see the images I'm playing with. I'm going to use this image of Kirby. And what's a good one here? Ooh, kitty cat. Kitty cat in space. I'm going to use that one. All right. Now I'm going to use those two images. And I'm going to use those as my references. And then it's going to build one based off those images. Just go ahead and click generate. And if you don't like the images, you can reword it, type it again, and oh man, that looks fun. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to download this one. This one I'm going to keep. I like it. All right. That's going to make it into my wallpapers. But yeah, you can keep going with it. Have fun with it. I know I use these as my screensavers for my laptops and my oh my god, new line board, and the kids get a kick out of it. So every single time they come into my classroom, they pop a little bit. Whoa, is that a donut? Oh, is that like a crazy alien? Yeah, have fun with it. All right, but just wanted to touch base on that. I'll come back to it later throughout the presentation to make reference of how I use it and everything. But just to kind of also show you, I'm going to go now into Photoshop here. Some of the things that I've actually created through Photoshop. I've worked a lot with my campus. My campus has realized that I do a lot of graphic designing. And so, with that being said, they kind of made me their unofficial graphic designer. So, I create the flyers and images and things like that. So, for example, in football, here are just some of the flyers that I did for last year. Like this one is just the LBJ. No, this was actually of 2024. We had that old logo there, but yeah, this was LBJ Knights versus Fossum. I had the background with the lava brick, created a little knight sword and everything. I added the QR code so people could reserve tickets and everything. You also obviously have to have the date and time, and I just felt like adding an extra, stamp there. But if you noticed, we ended up having this as our logo for a very long time. The LBJ Knights logo was actually the Las Vegas Knights, and so with that being said, last year we took it into account to actually recreate the LBJ logo, and so that we don't have to deal with copyrights. We made something of our own, and so we ended up creating this one here. And by we, basically, it was the coaches, the administration, and we all came together and we were like, hey, we want something new. Let's do this, do that. And so it was it, we designed it ourselves, but I created it through Photoshop. And so this became the LBJ Knights logo itself. As you can see, we kept some of the Las Vegas Knights influence of it because that was our logo for a very long time. But we wanted to emphasize LBJ. So we added the L, the B, and then the J right here. We added that little spike right there so that you can see it's supposed to be a J. So, but these are things that you're able to do with Adobe Photoshop that you, I'm not going to talk smack about Canva because Canva's great, but you honestly really can't do that with Canva. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is images. And the reason why I'm talking about images is because we're going to create a new file from scratch. When you create a file from scratch, custom size, it's going to start you off at 72 resolution. When you do 72 resolution, that's basically a thumbnail size. And what they mean by a thumbnail size is imagine you're drawing a picture of like, I don't know, I'm always superheroes. You're drawing a picture of Batman and it's the size of your thumbnail. Okay, great. You drew a picture of Batman the size of your thumbnail. But now you're trying to put that thumbnail onto a poster that's 2 by 3 feet. Well, try stretching that thumbnail size to 2 by 3 feet. What ends up happening is you're going to end up getting a very blurred image. And what I mean by this is if you go here and it's because I mentioned this because it happens to me all the time. A lot of people end up, I was talking about Batman, so I'm saying Batman. Let's put Batman 4. Not out yet. So this happens to me a lot. A lot of people send me a picture of send me a picture and it's a thumbnail. And I'm there like, I need a higher resolution image. And they're like, what does that mean? And it's like, well, it means that the resolution is not 72, but at its max, 300. So I need it at high resolution. So you need to get the original file. So, for example, this image of Batman right here, I've seen a lot of teachers do it. Nothing wrong, whatever, it happens. A lot of people do it. They save the image. And great, okay, they saved the image, but now it's a thumbnail. What they're supposed to do is click the image and then get to the actual original image itself. Now that you click the image, this is the original image itself, you can right click and save that image. And so now the image is saved. Now look at it as I compare side by side. This is the actual thumbnail. This is the actual image itself. Not that much higher resolution, but it's still higher. See the difference? Now, if I try to zoom in here on his face, all right, there's a little texture and everything. Let me look at this one in the same size. You see how blurred and pixelated it is? That's the difference between a thumbnail and a high resolution image. So, going back to it, when you're creating your image, you want to start off on a high resolution. You don't want to start off on a low resolution. That way you get the best quality of your image. Now, the size of it, well, honestly, that's all preference. You know, I personally go with inches because that's how I learned. So I usually do, 7 by 14. And it's like, that's a good poster size right there. Okay, loading. Let me resize that. I think I meant to put 11. Image. Rotation. There we go. There we go. Something about it. 7 by 11. There we go. It was supposed to be 8 by 14, but yeah, prefer 7 by 11. There we go. Looks better for me. Looks right. Now, you're going to see me do this a lot. Zoom in, zoom out. I'm one of those that uses control shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. You can easily do the zoom in, zoom out through, through here. But my keyboard shortcuts, control plus, control minus. This is actually a universal thing. You can use it for even when you're like on a web page. Control plus will zoom in, control minus zooms out. But just letting you guys know what I'm doing. Now you're starting here with a blank canvas. With this blank canvas here, we'll go ahead and start. Well, I'll start explaining layers here. The first one I'll probably toss in is, where is my wallpaper? Sure, let's toss in the donuts. All right. So we end up having the donuts here. So you're seeing the donuts. Yay, donuts. But this is your layers. Think of it like stacking papers on top of each other. If you end up moving this down here, you're no longer going to see your image itself. So the higher it is, the higher it is in the foreground. The background is going to be lower. So right now we're just going to be dealing with this image here. And I'm going to go through some of the tabs here and whatnot, just so that we can kind of go over it. Now, size and position, exactly what it sounds like. Woo, changing the size, changing position. Woo, how awesome, great. And I'm going to fill up the whole page. Why not, right? It's donuts. We want to see it. There we go. Donuts. Okay. Trying to move. There we go. Done. All right. Generating. Woo! Okay. This one is really cool. Generating, oh, wait. Well, yeah, there we go. Generating an image is basically where you're creating an image out of nothing. Right now, we saw artificial intelligence create this donuts in space, right? Okay, well, we can still add to it. So right here, I'm going to select that through, I click generate, and I highlighted that portion there. Now I'm going to put alien in space eating donut. I don't know, whatever. And now it's creating the image itself. I'm kind of curious what it comes up with. Last time I think I was in the last session I was messing around. Oh, we got a little guy right there. That's cute. So it created the image itself. That's actually really adorably awesome. And last session I was using Kirby and whatnot, but now we can see the layers themselves. If we bring this one down here again, now he's gone, or we can bring him back up. This is just dealing with the layers themselves. Now, let's say, oh, you know what? I don't know if I want them. You can just simply hide the layer right there. If you want to go back and show it, you can do the same thing. So it's like, okay, let's do a different one here. Let me see, shark with space helmet. Let's see what that looks like. And then you can decide which one looks better. That's the really cool thing about generative fill, because you can add things in the image that wasn't there before. It's oh, oh, oh. Now I don't know which one I like more. We got the space alien there, but then we also have the shark too. So, oh man, I don't know. Shark's funnier to me, so I'm gonna leave that one there. All right, and so I'm not gonna go into all the details of here, but pretty much that's the pretty cool thing about generative images. So you're able to generate an image out of pretty much thin air on that one. Now the adjustment and levels, well, this is basically where if you really want to mess around with it, oh, let me show you here. All right, I'm going to go back to this image here, the main background with all the donuts and everything, because that's the one I'm going to be messing around with. And where is it? It's this one here, I think. Yeah. So let's just say you have an image, and it's like, you know what? I don't like the background. Remove background. Oh, so awesome. So you can remove the background. It's gone. Awesome. But you still have your shark. Okay, great. But you can mess around with it. But you want to emphasize the donuts more. This is, again, look at what I'm doing with the layers. Right now, I removed the background. So now we just have these 3 donuts there. Now, if you want to keep the background, but it looks a little too busy, well, this is where you go to the adjust. Now you're adjusting this layer here. You can make the background black and white. So now the donuts pop more. You can, ooh, that actually looks kind of nice. Really makes them look delicious. All right. And so, sorry, getting a little distracted here. And so you can mess around with it in that sense. So it's giving you a lot of different options here. Now, the selection here is exactly what it sounds like. You're just trying to select certain items here and everything. But then it also can detect, what are you looking for here? Are you looking for this item, that item, the shark, this background? So you can easily, rather than actually trying to select it by doing a object selection and all that kind of stuff, it makes things a lot easier for you. So that if you're taking the donut, like, you know what, I don't want the donut, you get it out of here. So then you're gonna delete it. So I'll click delete, and then there we go. And so now the donut, the background of it is now gone. So retouch. This one is actually really cool. So let's just say you like this donut here, right? Let me see. Let me be sure I'm grabbing the right one. That's the donut. Okay. Oh, there we are. All right. Just there's so many layers. Let me just start deleting them so I can just kind of explain what I'm actually doing. So, okay, going back to it. Here's the original image here. So we have the donut here, right? Awesome, great. Well, let's say we want to add another donut. Oh man, clone stamp. Clone stamp has always been one of my favorite items for a very long time, because this is the item that allows you to actually fix blemishes, so that if like for example, I had a student and she was doing, she was in basketball. I was doing the basketball posters for her, and she was player of the week. And so what I ended up doing was we took a picture of her, but she was there like, I don't like it, I don't like it, my pimples. And I was there like, don't worry about it, I got you. And she's there like, but sir, I'm like, I got you. And so basically, thanks to clone stamping, I was actually able to remove some of the pimples on her. Like for example, let's take this little white crevice here. Let's pretend it's the pimple. I'm going to go to the clone stamp and set this as my source right here, that portion. So now I'm going to go here and start removing it. And so now it's going away. And this is where you can change the hardness of it. You can change, is it light? Is it soft? What kind of brush? But now I'm over here removing all of this stuff so that you're able to edit it and actually make it go away. It's a little time consuming, but that's the beauty of the clone stamp. The clone stamp can also just take this image here. I'm going to set this as my source by holding Alt and clicking. You can also click here and it'll set that as your source. So wherever I click, it's going to start cloning it from right there. So I'm going to put the donut right here. So now I'm getting a new donut. Woo, pretty cool. And so now there's a new donut in space. Woo. Now, that's just one of the items that you can do. Now, that when you do that, it doesn't add the a new layer. You're putting it onto this layer. So that one you have to take in consideration. You can't just simply do that. Now, quick actions here. You can easily change certain things out of it, like blur the background. You don't want to remove the background, but you just kind of want to blur it. Boom. It's going to blur it, and then the main items are actually going to just simply pop. This is one of those things that really, really works if your focus is like like a group of students, group of teachers, and things like that. And it really, really does help in that sense. Now, I'm going to start working over here on this end and start talking a little bit more about the effects that you can add. But in order to do that, I'm going to start building kind of a flyer from scratch, more or less. And you know what? Last time it was a happy birthday. So we're going to do happy birthday again. Let's say, ooh, happy birthday, Miss Bueno, because I know she's here. She actually took my classroom. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and put her here. And what's it called? It's going to be happy birthday. And we're going to create just a simple little birthday card. Just letting you guys know, I don't think it's her birthday, but I don't know when her birthday is, so don't quote me. All right. So don't just bust in with a bunch of happy birthdays. All right. So let's start talking about images. Now we got to add an image to this because yes, whatever and whatnot. And I'm just gonna say I don't know, Bluey, because my kids were watching Bluey this morning. So we're gonna add Bluey to the card, right? And but if you're doing something that's for school or work or anything like that, you have to worry about copyright infringement, which basically is items that are already owned by somebody else. Like for example, Warner Brothers owns DC comic books, so they you can't use Superman, Batman. You can't use Harry Potter because it's owned by Warner Brothers as well. Same thing with Lord of the Rings. Disney owns pretty much Bluey and all the Star Wars and Marvel characters and everything. So you got to be very careful on that. You got to reach out to what's more public domain. And public domain is where it's open to the public. Anybody can use it. So things like right now, Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh just recently entered public domain. And so anybody can actually take those and use them. So if you're doing a Christmas Bonanza Festival this year, you could actually use Mickey Mouse because he's public domain. The Grinch and Santa Claus, public domain. Anybody can use them. So if you're doing something for school, stick with public domain items. Don't go with copyrighted images. Now, if you're doing something personal, like a birthday card or a poster or a picture for your kids, well, that's fine. You're not making any money off of it, so you can use those items. Now, just to give you clarification on that, um, again, um, you do want to stick with what's it called, transparent items when you're doing pictures like this. Transparent items are PNG files. That means it's an image that has no background. And long ago, oh my God, I would be typing Bluey, transparent, PNG. And basically, that's what it looks like. It's these kind of dots here. Well, these squares, you would see them. That's basically, there's no background to it. That's what it kind of means. Now, sometimes you save the image and it's not actually a PNG. It's actually it's it's actually what's it called? It has that embedded in the background. So hit or miss. Did you get it? Did you not get it? But I'm letting you guys know, if you're gonna put in the time and effort, you can easily go to removebackground.com. This is another one that you can use where you take the image that, for example, the one I just that I just got, a Bluey, and you can toss that picture of Bluey right there, and it'll start removing the background. Boom. Awesome. Great. It went away. So then you download it. If you're going to pay for it, it'll give you the high resolution. However, if you don't want to pay for it, it's going to kind of give you the thumbnail version of it. It's really your preference, your choice. But again, you can easily do it yourself through you can easily do it yourself by just clicking the image, bringing it here, and the quick actions. Oops, this one. There we go. And then remove the background. And it'll remove the background for you. So your choice, however you want to go about it. I'm just giving you your options. Now, sometimes it's, I don't want to look for it. I don't want to do it. That's fine. Go to Wing PNG. Is it Wing? No, I keep doing it backwards. PNG Wing. PNG Wing is absolutely free. Biggest thing you got to deal with is one ad, and you got to do the alphabet. So, and I'll show you what I mean. You go to choose the Bluey. Ah, that's adorable. Let's do that one. All right, so it's Bluey and Bingo. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and download this one. Oh, you're giving me an ad. You got to sit through the ad. Yay! Is that Plastic Man? That guy could probably be a good Plastic Man. Ah, okay, there we go. Now that the ad is done, yay, now I can start downloading the image. Well, actually, it just downloaded. Awesome, great. Usually in the case, it will make you do something like this. Now you don't have to do the ad anymore. You just click the download, and well, it'll give you like an alphabet here, and it'll say STDF, and you got to click the letters that correspond with it. But I guess because I logged in already, it just kept it. So from there, now that you have your file, you can easily now just drag and drop the bluey image you wanted, which was, yeah, that one was adorable. Okay, so I'm not gonna delete that one because maybe I might want to keep it later. But that's an adorable one. Oh yeah. Now let's go back to the actual words themselves. Happy birthday, Ms. Bueno. Okay, great, awesome. But it looks bland. Well, let's see if we can up the ante. All right. You can go through all these different fonts and choose whichever ones you want. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, this one. Oh, it looks bulky. And yeah, they give you a lot to deal with. But you know what? They don't have what I'm looking for. Well, there's this website over here, dafont.com. Absolutely free. Absolutely free. And if I know Ms. Bueno, she likes her rock and roll. So, well, let's give her Megadeth. She loves the band Megadeth. I know she does. So there it is. We have Megadeth font. And so that's the band's actual logo. And that's the way it actually, the band's logo looks. You can now save that font style so you can type in that image. Pretty cool, man. You don't have to pay anything, absolutely free. The way they make their money is you go to pretty much, I don't know, I'm just going to pick one here, and they'll have donate to the author, donate to the author. And you can donate if you want to, if you're kind enough. But we're all over here. We're teachers, we don't have money to throw around like that. So it's free, absolutely free. So now that you download it, this is one of the few items you can actually install on your computer. Pretty cool. Don't worry about the README file. Go to the True Type font file. When you go there, it's going to show you how the font's going to look. Now here, you can install it. It's now installed. And you know what? You can use it in Word. You can write your lesson plans in it. So, hey guys, how's it going? Woo! And then let's go ahead and put this in Megadeth font. Woo! So now there it is. You can now use it in Word. So now I already installed several fonts into my into my computer, so I can use them in pretty much all my applications. Not just Word, but any one of them. I go to PowerPoint, I can use it. Pretty cool. Now, going back to here, well, how do I put this on here? It's one extra step. One extra step. That's all it's going to be. You're going to have to take this file because it's not going to be able to. Well, let me just show you. You're going to go into here, and then you're going to go into upload. From here, you're going to add the font. And well, it should be under my downloads. Oh, but there's only these ones. Where's my Megadeth font? I added Harry Potter last session. Well, it's because it can't read the zip file. So you have to take it out of there and put it out of the zip file. And when you do that, I push Control X to cut and Control V to paste. And now there it is, located in the actual downloads file. Open. Now, don't worry, you have to click by uploading the font. You acknowledge you have all the necessary rights. Because of the fact that it's from the font, it's absolutely free. So yes, you have rights to it. So you can go ahead and add it. And then from there, look for your Megadeth font. Oh, there it is. Megadeth Cryptic. I was looking at it wrong. And there we go. sometimes the fonts aren't going to be absolutely perfect because of discrepancies, but you play around with it, have fun with it, and everything. Now I'm gonna make this just a little bit bigger, change the size. Okay, whoop-de-doo right here, just so it kind of pops a little bit more. And there we go. All right, but now we're looking at it, and I don't know. I feel like we can do more with that. Okay, that's fine. Let's start playing around with the effects. Let's give it an over. Let's give it a granite. Granite basically means it's a color scheme. When you're looking at this, it's black. It's just plain black. But with a granite overlay, well, we can easily look at our reds and start adding something red to it. We can make it darker, make it brighter. Ooh, that looks kind of nice. And you can reverse the direction of the granite. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. And I'm not going to go too much into the details as far as the advanced settings, but we're just going to kind of stick with something like that for now. And but I feel like this is kind of getting lost here. It doesn't pop. It doesn't stand out. Well, let's add a stroke to it. Now, notice, well, okay, I'm going to add the stroke. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, do not click any of these. It's an option here where you can easily slide it back and forth. But ever since, I don't know, it's a glitch or there's a setting in here where if you click it, it closes. Darn it. But it's very frustrating. There's a simple way around it, nothing major or anything. But if you go in, okay, well, I'm going to click over here because over here, it's going to show you all the different things that you've been doing to it. If I go over here to stroke, it's going to add another stroke to it. So you don't want to add another one. You want to mess with the one you already had. So that's why I'm going to this tab right here. You're going to click inside right there, inside the number. And there you can change the value of it. And now you're like, but there's a stroke and I don't see it. It's because it's white. Let's change the color here so we can actually see it. And I did it again. Yeah. And there we go. And you're like, whoa, that's too much. Yeah, that is way too much stroke. That's too much. But at least now we can see the words. So let's go ahead and change that and decrease it down to 35. We click enter. Still looks a little heavy there. Let's try 25. Let's try 15. Looking better, looking better. Because I think it fits Miss Bueno's rock and rollish image here. Red and black, yeah. Okay, now let's. But I feel like we can still add more to it. Let's make it pop. Okay. That's where we're gonna start dealing with the bevel and emboss. This is an item here that now makes the letters pop off the page. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can actually see it. So you see how like now there's an indentation around there? Let me show you what it looks like if I take off the bevel here. Move. There we go. That's what it looks like without it. And then when you add it, it makes it pop. And there's a lot of different versions you can go with. That's the inner one. I like the outer one. It kind of keeps the wording integrity still there. You can make it stronger. You can make it softer. And usually I like to stick with the same numbers, 15, 15, whatnot. And now it's starting to actually pop off the page a little bit more. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But we now said happy birthday, Miss Bueno, and we got Bluey and all that there. Well, we need a background. Well, let's go back to our Adobe Firefly. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to say rock and roll stage. There we go. and see what we get from it. Oh, mind you, we're still using the same images, the Kirby and the kitty cat. Oh, this one looks pretty. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of looking for fire and stuff like that, but hey, I'm gonna take this one. All right, so I went ahead and I saw it. I clicked the download button, so now we're keeping it. Yay! And that's probably gonna make it into my cut for wallpaper again. Dude, I just love that AI generator, man. It's just too awesome. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and toss it in. Yay! And if you notice, our layers kind of went away. Where did our layers go? It's right here. Show the layers. You can hide it, move it in and out of the way in case you just want to focus on the image itself. So in this case, I'm just going to kind of leave it as is. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Toss that there. I really want that guitar to show. And yeah, there we go. And let's bring the layers back in because let's be honest, as cool as it looks, our happy birthday is missing. Well, that's because it's at the bottom of the layer, so we need to bring it back up. And there it is. But now it's like, well, that's cool, but now it looks way too busy. Well, that's where we go to the actual image that's making it busy. That's the background. When it comes to images, yeah, the background's really cool, but it's the background. The focus is Bluey and Bingo. It's getting lost in the background and imaging. So it looks a little too busy. How do you fix that? The opacity. The opacity is basically how much of the image is actually there. So you make it transparent. So you can make it kind of fade. So it's like, oh, okay. Now it doesn't look overwhelming. Now it's like you can really see Bingo and Bluey. And that's how you kind of keep the integrity of the image itself still intact. The other thing about it is, oh, I lost my train of thought there. Well, the other thing about the that you can also still do with it is, for example, with Bluey and all them, you still want to make them pop. You can still add all the other things that we were doing to it. So with Bluey, we're gonna go ahead and add an outer glow to it. And you know what? That color should probably be blue because let's just face it, it's Bluey. And I clicked out of it. Okay, and now the opacity. This is where we're gonna change it all the way up to 100 so we can actually see it. And the size. And let's go ahead and put 70 on it. Oh, cool. There we go. Now you're starting to see the glow. You have to do quite a bit to it to manipulate it. Let's try that. There we go. And that's probably okay, there we go. And then we'll change that to 75 right there. And there we go. So the glow is kind of still in there. The size of it, we can always change it and everything. But these are just little different techniques and everything that you can do to it to manipulate your image, try to make it pop. And in the end, if there was an effect that you didn't like, you can easily just remove it and take it out of it. But the other thing I wanted to say about the opacity is that if you are messing with it and you're using it for something with school related, and you're one of those people that you just don't like just plain white background, but you want a background, chances are you want to mess with the opacity because of the fact that, well, you need to be user friendly with your printers at school, because if you're printing out posters that look like that and on school time, pretty sure you're going to get a visit from the principal that says, hey, you need to cut that out, spend a lot of ink. But this is a simple way you can still have a little bit of a background, but yet still save on ink. It even works with your own printer as well. The other thing you can do to also blend the background is mess with this blend right here, which gives you like the option to dissolve. darken. You probably see it with these ones here. See the lighten, and some of them you can see really well, some of them not so much. But these, ooh, that actually looks kind of nice like that. There we go. And ooh, there you go. That makes it nice and soft, still colorful, and yet still a nice pop. But there's a lot of different things that you can add to it, mess around with, and everything. And I think we are cutting short on time right now. So I will cut it off here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and share my presentation with you guys so that you have access to it in case, like, what did he say? What was that site? The font, what? PNG, what? And, or if you have questions, you have access to my email. You can reach me on Teams as well. Um, Actually, let me double check that. Yeah, there we go. Because last time I had it under restricted. There we go. And you guys can easily reach out to me. I hope this was interesting for you guys, that you guys had fun with it. And here is a copy of the link there. You can reach me on Teams as well. Actually, let me double check that. Yeah, there we go. Because last time I had it under restricted. There we go. And you guys can easily reach out to me. I hope this was interesting for you guys, that you guys had fun with it. And here is a copy of the link there. Again, I'll be here if you guys have any questions.